Recording.
Okay, well, hey, welcome to Ryan and John Write Songs, the podcast, where we're going to share our journey of going from bros to pros. Journey from just two friends who love writing music to professional songwriters with things like cuts with actual artists and pub deals. And who knows, maybe someday Dove Awards, if our conscience allows it. No, but
That
seriously,
was so mean.
we'll get there. So please subscribe, comment, follow, and more than that is tell your friends, especially friends you've got who are music people, who are on this same journey, whether they're rookies like us or they're veterans way down the road. These are the folks we want to connect with. So if you know some, please send them our way, share this link, or share it with them on the social medias. Okay, so today's show, the agenda is we're going to address the comments from our show last week. We're also going to revisit the ongoing cultural phenomenon of Forrest Frank saying a thing about the Dove Awards and the whole world goes spinning. So we're going to revisit that for just a minute. We'll play a quick game. We need to think of a good name for it. I've just got it called Favorite Songs, but we'll find a better name. We're going to play a quick game, and then we want to share some updates, like some real updates about what John and I are doing to pursue this career, what kind of meetings we're looking at, what kind of things we're working on, and just kind of fill you guys in. When we close, I'll kind of tease what we're going to do next week because it's going to be awesome. So that's all I'll say for now, but get excited. More to come on that. Anything to add to that, John?
Not really. I mean, sending friends your way, our way. I don't know if you meant like in a networky way. I just think people who would be interested in this, that are on the same journey, that are songwriters, aspiring songwriters, thinking about moving to Nashville or LA or anywhere on that path. This whole thing is about us starting from ground zero and sharing our journey, meetings, wins, failures, all that stuff. And I think it's going to grow and we're going to have an interesting journey and hopefully some insightful findings. So, but if you do have a brother or a cousin that is going to help us.
Yeah. A world famous artist.
Yeah. I mean, send them our way for sure.
That too. Yeah, we'll take care of them. Okay, so let's start, John, with the comments from last week. We had some tough comments from our first episode because we talked about Sweet Forrest Frank in, not a loving way. I mean, it was loving. It was great. But we got some hate for it. So we got some comments on last week's that are much nicer. The first one is from Mary Sullivan, 7683. She actually shares a couple comments. So she says she totally agrees about the Halloween thing, which is great. No discussion needed. But she also says, I want to hear your songs.
First of all, Mary Sullivan is a dear friend of mine. And
shout out.
Yeah. What's up, Mary? I'm probably coming back to Alaska in the spring, and I'm sure I'll see you. But
oh, she's another one of those.
Hey, what do you mean by that?
Sorry. Yeah, let's just keep moving.
No. I want to hear what you...
you Northerners, you know what I mean. She also says, I want to hear your songs. And Mary, it's coming. I already teased it a little bit, but I'll probably be teasing it through the whole episode because we're so excited. We're going to share our first song next week on the podcast. So don't miss it. We'll share it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the story of writing it and kind of give all of that context.
Yeah. So was that our only comment?
No. Well, we have one commenter, and it's Mary Sullivan. She says, people want art that connects them to human experience and to others so they don't feel so alone in their feelings and experiences. We want the catharsis that comes when a song, lyric, or piece of writing or art reflects to them themselves, and they go, wow, I'm not alone in this. And AI doesn't produce that sense of connection to others.
This was Mary.
Yeah. It was really great comment.
Well, I just want to be clear now that Mary and I are not friends, actually.
Yes.
So
Nice. Well done.
anyway, it's so crazy that it's so weird having a podcast, and I mean it's just like social media, I guess, but it's so weird. Like I didn't know Mary commented on it, and this is so fun that she is, and I can't wait to hear other friends comment. That's an interesting comment. I love that. It's
I think it's a big reason we're doing this podcast and this whole brand, isn't it?
yeah. Well, you tell me your thoughts first on that comment.
Yeah, AI scares the living crap out of me, if I'm just being honest, because
You get scared really easily, though.
well, yeah, I'm a scaredy cat, and it's really insane what it can do. And so, yeah, there's a big like cynical piece of me that's like, is the world even going to want songwriters in 5 years, or even 1 year? Like, are we so dumb to be getting into this right now? So that's terrifying, and yet I totally agree with what Mary's saying, where I'm like, there's still something about a human being who writes a song, and you either know the person or you know the journey, you know the story. There's something about that is so much more valuable than just you hear something on the radio and you judge it on its technical prowess. You're judging its whatever rhyme scheme, and that was a great chord. But there's something about the story, the connection, the human element. And yeah, I feel like this podcast is a huge piece of that. We want to write really, really great songs, but more than that, we want to share with anyone who cares to listen where the song came from, how it came to be, because that's as interesting to me as the song itself.
Yeah. I just want to say again, I for one love AI, and AI, if you're listening,
Yes, we love you.
yeah, you
We will obey.
please don't hurt us.
Let my kids go. They haven't eaten in 3 days.
Please. I have kids. Yeah, all hail AI, and I agree with all of that. I think one thing that maybe the caveat or the difference that I see is like, I think humans want to relate to another human, and I think we talked about this before, but like, you're just never going to go to a concert and watch a robot or a hologram.
Yeah,
you're never going to be okay with like, I bought this album and I just follow everything that this artist does, knowing that it's AI. Mm-hmm. So people want like a hero. I think people want a story. People want drama, even like as garbage as it is, like Real Housewives or something like that. Like people want that, and people don't care about technology, right? That's like boring. But like AI can produce songs that will make you feel things,
as weird as that is.
Yeah. So music is its own entity, whether it's created by people or humans, and that music, if it's good, it's good. And so like, you can get tricked being like, this is an amazing song, or this vocalist is amazing, and then you're like, just kidding, that's AI. Mm-hmm. And that's weird. So, but I don't, to talk about what you said, like about being worried, I'm not worried, because I'm sure there's going to be laws coming or whatever. Just, you can't hide anything on the internet now. So like, people knowing this is AI, they're just not going to have the same loyalty or reaction to it. I don't think.
Yeah.
Or it's, in 5 years, stuff is going to happen where we have like these streams of music that are AI based, where it's just like, this is background music, or people are going to have their, their AI profile of like how they show their music to the world, and we're going to switch gears and everyone's going to get it. And what we're still respecting is real human art and not AI. So I don't know why my light is freaking out, but
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, well, okay. Hey, we'll talk more about AI as we go. But Mary, thank you for commenting. It's actually really fun when people drop comments because it feels like we're talking to them. So
Yeah.
thank you for that. And y'all, please drop comments. Okay, so with that down, really quickly, we should revisit it because it's still part of the conversation. Okay, we talked about Forrest Frank. He had some comments where he said, I'm not going to the Dove Awards for the one person living under a rock who doesn't know this whole drama. He said he's not going to the Dove Awards because we as Christians shouldn't be doing that. You and I, the whole world said some things about it. You and I said some things about it. Everybody got mad. Everybody got triggered. The conversation is ongoing. Jelly Roll got up there and fired some shots from stage at the GMA award thing, where he was saying, actually, this is great. And he looks at the camera and he's like, and I hope, there's some people out there who can't see the forest for the trees. The forest, get it? Forrest Frank. Mm-hmm. So it was really just genius. And anyway, but the thing I wanted to just bring up with you, John, and just share with me your quick thoughts, because I think this can go a lot bigger than the Dove Awards. Some people don't care about the Dove Awards, and that's totally okay. But Jeremy Riddle made some comments. He kind of came out in defense of Forrest Frank, and he was saying, listen, guys, he's actually got a point. Like the Dove Awards feel basically like it's like a copy of the Grammys, and we're not supposed to conform to this world. And so aren't we just conforming when we do something like the Dove Awards that awards the top selling songs? Aren't we just conforming? Which is an interesting perspective. And it made me think even more broadly. I'm like, okay, well, that's insightful. That's an interesting thought. Should we go way past the Dove Awards and say, okay, if we're the church and we're supposed to do something totally different, I don't know, maybe a good way to ask the question, and I'd love to hear your thoughts, John, is if you were king of the world, just wave your wand and you can just make things happen however you want, how do you think this should be? Should Christian music be its own genre as it is today, with awards and royalties and it all works, and labels and publishers, the exact way that the world does their thing? Should we obliterate Christian music and Christians just compete in the broader marketplace? Should there be a Christian category, but it works completely differently than it does today? How do you live in these two worlds of ministry and business, commerce, Christianity? How do we put all that together in a cohesive picture? If you were king of the world, what's your take on it?
Well, first of all, you just mixed metaphors. So king of the world, waving his magic wand, that sounds like sorcery to me.
It does. Yeah.
That is not Christian at all. So, this conversation's over.
Yeah. Can't associate.
Yeah. How do you even know what a wand is? Yeah, I mean, that's a tough question. I think, and first of all, let me back up. Jeremy Riddle and Forrest Frank, it's interesting because it's like, at first blush, you're like, of course, man, like follow your heart and convictions, go for it. And that's inspiring and that's amazing to some level. But then it touches into this bigger thing, which is commerce in the Christian world. And that's a philosophical, like, big deal, So I just want to say that, like, I don't think what's like backing up in further, Jelly Roll, like, I
come on, hold back.
I thought it was a little tasteless. I mean, to each his own, but not everything has to be a fight and a division mark. Like not everything has to be this. And granted, maybe some people thought what Forrest Frank did, was like a first shot, in the fight. I don't think that was his heart. Like maybe he was a little naive because he didn't see the bigger picture, the forest for the trees. But I just don't, just be the bigger person. Each person should be aiming to be the bigger person, and we can walk away from conversations with, unity and
sure.
and love instead of like this weird thing that happens. So, blah blah blah. Yeah. So all that to say, like, Forrest is not the person, you know, that should be the point of the conversation. The devil words and the Christian culture and all that stuff and commerce should be.
Yeah.
If I were king of the world and I could wave my sorcerer's wand.
Yes.
And I just don't know, because my gut reaction is that, like, you can't have a category for, like, I know Jeremy Riddle was trying to, let's dream for a second. What if we had a category for martyrs? And his main point was, like, there's going to be all these categories for people who are just, like, not seen. And realistically, you can't track those people down. And because they aren't seen. And I get what the devil wards, the comment about, hey, we're just a copy of the world. And it's like, I don't know any other way to do it. Like, because people would say, well, you know, look at the sales and that's an indicator of what God's doing or what people, you know, people are touched by or whatever. And then other people would be like, well, yeah, but how can you just, like, how do you differentiate between, like, what's actually like a, you know, a movement of, you know, like, what's inspiring, what's a movement of God, and just like a great pop song, and
who gets to decide
which could be, like, watered down. And they talked about, like, Christian culture, and they dove deep into it, of, like, you know, like Michael Tate and, like, people who go to the devil wards who aren't even Christian or whatever, and that's, like, a huge topic. And so if it were up to me, it's like, from a big 30,000 foot view, I don't think you can do a lot different, and you just have to accept the fact that there's wheat and tares, there's wolves and sheep, and, like, it's messy, and you just have to, like, on your own personal level, be grateful for what happens and show up with a good heart, and accept that there's always going to be counterfeits and messes and all sorts of things that just don't make sense and aren't ideal. Maybe you could go a step further and be like, okay, for anyone in the Christian realm, like, you know, maybe they're vetted a little better, or maybe, like, for Christians to, like, reform the music, and, like, that's a weird thing to even, like, it feels so, like, peripheral to, like, the Christian mission to be like, let's reform the Christian music industry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Maybe it has consequences that are at the heart of Christian stuff, but it does feel a little, you know, navel gaze-ish to use to use a Christian term, right?
Yeah.
But if we're gonna go there, maybe vetting, maybe, like, you know, to be a Christian artist on this record label, or to be considered in the Dove Awards, or to be on this platform, or whatever it is, it's like you have to have pastoral references. You have to be vetted in terms of, like, I don't know. I don't know how that looks, like, where you have some kind of accountability in your world, where people don't just rise to the top, and 6 months earlier they were, you know, in a place that feels pretty, you know, like, not where a Christian leader should be, right? Because you look at it, it's just like art, and you're like, it's just music, it's just art, but then it's like, but it starts to have this huge connotation for, like, you're a huge voice and a thought leader. So I feel like that was way longer than what you asked for, but
that's great. No, man, I know, and it's a great answer. And honestly, like, would I change anything? Probably not, because it's like, who could measure the ramifications? But since the conversation is open, I get, like, there's kind of this reflex of, I look at, you know, you can take the first century church compared to where we are today in the culture, and, you know, who doesn't look at celebrity pastors and people making millions of dollars off of, you could argue, peddling the gospel, and there's something in you that goes, oh, I don't feel good about that. And so it almost makes me like my hot take, my reaction would be like, go one way or the other. Either let it all fly. Whoever I don't even care if you're a Christian. If you want to make Christian music, do your thing, sell it, whatever. And I'll submit to a local church that will help me, like, wisely sort through, what should I be listening to? What are we going to allow sung at the church? Like, we'll just all do our own thing here, you know, free for all. Part of me just says, like, hey, just let capitalism do its thing. go.
It's near that right now.
It's pretty near that, exactly. The other part of me that sees wolves and it sees abuses that happen, yeah, you want to go the other way where it's like, we're not going to be like the world. And if we're going to let your songs be played in, the church, the body of Christ, if we're going to go to your concert, whatever, yeah, like you ought to be submitted to church leadership. Maybe even like you work for the church, you don't get filthy. I mean, maybe it's not fair to do that with a worship leader, but like at least pastors, it's like you signed up to serve, bro. You didn't sign up. I didn't think you signed up to be a celebrity, to be filthy rich, to look like a rock star. So part of me like wants to have all the controls to be like, hey, if we're going to be the church, if you want to be up on stage, then you're going to be honored the least. Yeah. You're not going to get filthy rich. We're not going to sing your praises. It's not about you, bro.
Yeah, there's a weird hierarchical thing that happens at church where it's like, it's a popularity contest. It's a fame-seeking thing. Mm-hmm. Now that you're in the spotlight, you get to start selling books and albums, and it's just like, it's weird, It's like, yeah, it can definitely go there. Yeah.
Well, now that we have fixed the world's problems,
well, this is all set up that people should come join our church that we're starting, right?
Yes, there's a mandatory tithe you have to pay.
Right,
it's 25%.
Speaking of vetting, we vet, like we know everything about you, and we control that. Hard.
Correct. You don't vet us. We've already vetted ourselves, but we will vet you. Yeah. Okay, we've solved the world's problems. Let's play a little game, okay? And I hope you thought of a good name for it because all I have here is favorite songs.
Well, I mean, right now it's just rapid fire.
Yeah, rapid fire. So, right.
And I don't know what you have planned, if it's favorite songs or if it's like categorical.
It's categorical. I've got 4 categories for us.
Okay, so we'll come up with a name later, but it's basically rapid fire song selection. So maybe people can comment and tell us what their ideas are.
Ooh, good idea. Okay, so we'll have the conversation, but yeah, y'all please put in the comments what your answers to these questions are. First category, coming at you hot, John. I hope you're ready.
I'm not
either. It scares me a little bit. First category, the last song that made you cry.
Oh my gosh. Last song that made me cry.
Maybe you cried because it was so bad. I mean, it's up to interpretation. But last song that made you cry.
Oh. I think we were trying to write a song, and I got teary about the topic, but that doesn't count.
I mean, it could count if you want it to count. You don't want to spoil it. You don't want to give anything away. Yeah, okay.
Dude. Oh my gosh.
Okay, let me share mine. Let me share mine, and maybe something will come to you. It's a little embarrassing because it's so freaking cliche. I didn't expect for it to happen, but it happened.
I think I got mine too.
Okay, cool.
I can't wait to hear yours.
Okay, so I was on a walk, and somehow I pulled up Tom Petty, and I didn't even go for deep cuts. I just clicked on Free Fallin'. And
no way.
I feel like a chick right now. And yeah, here I am, like fighting back tears, listening to Free Fallin'.
Hold on, was this like? It's just a great song, like way to go in your craft, Tom Petty, or is this like the lyrics and the emotion of the song got you?
Yeah, the lyrics and the emotion of the song got me.
Wow, I'm so surprised by that because
you're judgy right now. You're so judgy.
No, I'm not. You're just vulnerable and you don't like.
Correct. Why am I sharing?
No,
this?
No, it's so surprising because it doesn't seem like a like I really want to know why that hit you that way because Free Fallin', like it definitely has like it's so picturesque. It's like so descriptive and puts you in a spot.
Yeah.
But that spot to me is not that emotional for me.
Yeah.
Like I could see if it's like, man, that really brings me back to a place in my life.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what what hit you?
Okay, so Free Fallin', first of all, just as a song, I was just thinking about it while I was listening to it. It really hits this sweet spot between spelling it out, because there is some clear structure to it. You've got first verse is devoted to she's a good girl, and we talk about she's a good girl. Second verse is some scenery. It's a long day living in Reseda. There's a freeway running through the yard. Sets the tone a little bit. And I'm a bad boy because I don't even miss her. Okay, so there's this little bit of like contrast the whole song. Good girl, bad boy. Chorus is I'm free falling. And they don't really give you much more than that. The rest is just pictures and imagery. I think the real brilliance of that song, and I don't write a ton like this, but I'd love to learn how to write like this, is it gives you enough that I am like, it's not so abstract that it's not about anything. It is about something enough that I'm clicked into the story, but it's vague enough that I can basically put whatever's going on with me into it pretty easily. And what it made me feel when I was listening, specifically this time through, because I do think you can get a lot out of that song. What I felt was a sense of loneliness, which is at the heart of the song. You know, he's free fallen. He's cut ties with relationships that probably would have been really good for him. And not that I'm specifically walking through that right now, but it really like hit me with this sense of I'm on this walk. I'm like kind of getting my head clear, and I felt like the loneliness of that song in a really cool way. I think it's brilliant what he did with it. I don't know if he was the only writer or not, but the way it's put together,
I think
it
Rick
really
Rubin,
invites you in.
I think that song came out of nowhere. I think he was singing. I think he was just messing around on the piano and was just singing that chorus and thought it didn't fit. And I think Rick Rubin produced it, and Rick was like, let's do that. Let's do that. I think that's the story. Anyway, that song is brilliant. It's like a Paul Thomas Anderson movie where it's like the ending, it's like it's up for interpretation, and it pulls you so into it because it's not clear what it's about.
Yeah.
But you think it's about something. So it's either like, it's funny that you landed at like, it's cutting ties with relationships that could have been good. And I'm like, I think he chose to go for the girl. Even though he said, I'm a bad boy because I don't even miss her. Because then he says, I'm free fallen. And when I think of fallen, I think of fallen in love.
Fallen in love. Yeah.
But that song is so brilliant because it's like, it sets, like the first verse is like dream. It's very paradise. It's very like fantasy. She's a good girl. She's
horses,
crazy, like
Jesus.
she's so innocent, and it's like this, like, you know, we can all relate to like either childhood or knowing someone or how you felt about someone. Anyway, and then the second verse is all reality. It's like, it's a long day living in Reseda. It's like I'm grounded back in like it's a long day living in this town. All the vampires, you know, all like it's just like reality of like my life and how disconnected I feel from dreams, from the height of like the disconnect between dreams and like expectations and reality. That's to me what that song is. And then free fallen, and you're like, what did he choose? You know, like did he choose the girl, or did he choose to like not care, or is he like accepting the
it's
dissonance
perfectly
and the beauty?
Yeah,
it's like it's such a great song. It's like I don't know if they even meant to like make it so like amazing, but dang, it's amazing.
Okay, I'm glad we agree on that. Okay, what's yours? Last song that made you cry.
I feel so stupid after your answer next. I'm like, yeah, Free Fallin', that's not a tearjerker. And I'm like, yeah, it's an amazing song. And now I'm like, oh, I cried at like the most like targeted tearjerker song.
Come on, what is it?
I'm pretty sure it was You're Gonna Miss This.
Well, okay, you can't be blamed for that.
I mean, it's meant to make you cry. And I'm a dad now with a 7-year-old and a 1-year-old girl, and
correct.
You know, and we have a letterboard in our house that says like these are the good days. And so we're constantly like thinking of like our children and how time is passing us by, and we want to enjoy the moment.
Who's the artist? Remind me.
I think it's Trace Atkins. Sorry, I just know the songwriter Lee Thomas Miller. Aren't I so cool?
Trace Atkins. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Anyway, yeah. So it was. I think it was that. Anytime I hear that song, I'm like,
Excellent. Thank you for your vulnerability. That's good. Okay, so next category. Oh, wait, crap. Hold on, I lost my screen. You can still see me, right? Okay.
yeah.
Next category. Song that makes you roll your eyes.
In what way?
Up for interpretation.
Oh gosh.
Mm-hmm. I don't have one for this.
Song that makes me roll my eyes.
It's the first one that comes to mind.
No, I want clear. Do you mean like song that makes me cringe? Like, ugh. Or
what's the alternative? Cringe versus what else would it be?
Cringe would be like, this should not exist. I'm going to turn off the radio and burn it. Roll my eyes is like, this is dumb.
Yeah, I mean, either one. Take your pick.
Okay, we are back. Had a little interruption there, but where are we at?
Song that makes you roll your eyes.
I'm just going to say the two since I can't figure out the category. All right. So roll my eyes, like every time I hear it, I'm like, it's just not. People love it, but I hate it, you know? Is it called Last Christmas?
Last Christmas, I gave you my heart.
It feels like it's living in the wrong decade. You know? That feels like an early 60s, late 50s, like doo-wop kind of like very bubblegum, very puppy dog. Like that's what you can get. That's the deal. But it's like, I think 80s or maybe early 90s is when that came out. And like, just, it's like, you're too late.
Yeah.
That is cheeseball. So I roll my eyes at that song. It just feels too shiny.
Yeah.
Song that I think should not exist. Like, it makes me cringe. Putting on the Ritz.
Oh, why?
And I'm not talking about like the original. I'm talking about like the remake by, what was his? I don't know. Taco was his name?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to look it up really quick, but, well, I can't look it up right now. Yeah. Let me see here.
Who did the, I'll look it up here.
Yeah, Taco. It's just like, it's like a train wreck, like where you can't look away from it because it just feels so bad. Like,
yeah.
There's just something so like different and weird about it that, I don't know. Like some artists, they can get away with that. It's like, oh, that's weird, and like I don't know how to accept this or what to do with it, but it's something is intriguing. But that I'm just like, get it away.
Yep. All right, good answer. I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sure I've got better answers, but the one that comes to mind is I don't know if it's called Sweet Home Alabama, but it's the cover of it's with Kid Rock, I think.
Right.
Is it called Sweet Home Alabama, or did he use a different title? I can't remember.
I can't remember, but I know what you're talking about.
Just bugs me, man. I'm like, because it's not that it is necessarily so horrific of a song. Okay, it doesn't blow me away, but it's a fine song, whatever. But to take something so iconic and turn it into that, it forces me to roll my eyes. I'm like, and I'm not against covers. Like Free Fallin', great example of like, I like John Mayer's cover of Free Fallin'. Like, he brought something fresh to it. It's his own thing. Not the original, but all good. Like, you had something unique to say. The Kid Rock version of Sweet Home Alabama just kills my soul a little bit. So every time that comes on, I'm just like, oh my God.
And to be clear, what you're there's several things that are parallel to it. There's covers. We're not talking about a cover.
Yeah.
There's sampled songs where you take an old R&B song and then you make a rap song or whatever.
Right.
There's referencing, like what's Russell Dickerson's, girls just want to have fun thing, which is like,
Oh, yeah,
that's,
right.
that's clever, but this is like, we're basically hijacking that song and we're like,
Yeah. We were smoking funny
Yeah.
things. Whatever the lyrics are to that
yeah,
chorus.
it's like, it's not sampled where it's like, we just have that lick and we're making a new song. It's almost that, but it feels way more of a hijack of that song. And therefore it's like, you're stepping on the feet of that song and making it this thing that is not an improvement, you know?
It deserves an eye roll.
Yeah.
Solid eye roll. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit the final category here. I skipped a category. I also had saddest song in existence, but I'm like, that's maybe a little too close to. Unless you got a quick answer to it. Saddest song in existence.
Gosh. Okay, my gut reaction, saddest song. Oh, this is really hard. Can I give two answers?
Sure. I hope you don't take mine.
Okay. This is like a general, like maybe a lot of people would agree with this, but Unchained Melody. I mean, if you just listen to that song and start letting the music hit you and the lyrics hit you, that is like, you're going to have some regrets. Like, you're going to think of your first love or something and you're going to be like, just anyone who's been in that time in their life where it's like they had a breakup. And that's a hard one. That's a hard song to listen to.
Yeah.
Because I think the idea of the song is like, he's like, I still feel this way. Do you? And the underlying current is like, you can never go back.
Yeah.
But another one, something that really gets me is, what's it called? I think it's just called Philadelphia by Neil Young.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I've heard it.
So it was in the movie Philadelphia, which for anyone listening who doesn't know the movie, Tom Hanks movie. It's about a guy who has HIV back in the like height of the HIV epidemic and the controversy around that. And he's fired from a law firm and he has to go through a huge legal battle to like, prove that he was, unfairly treated. And spoiler alert, it's been out for 30 years. He dies in the end, and there's a wake, and that song, like I think they had several people try to write songs for it, and Bruce Springsteen's Streets of Philadelphia won, but Neil Young's was like way more moving song. His song played during the wake scene, and the camera moves around the room, and it slowly like hones in on the TV, which is playing a reel of that guy's life. And it's just all these like videos from like childhood. And it's just like, man, you watch that scene and you listen to those lyrics. If you weren't broken, you are not human. Like that, I can't even like think about that without like wanting to cry. All right. So we kind of got cut off there for a second, but we're back. Had some technical issues. So we were talking about the song Philadelphia by Neil Young. And I think it's the mixture of seeing the video of him as a child, which it's just a movie. I don't even know whose footage that is, right? But that song and the lyrics are City of Brotherly Love, Place I Call Home, Don't Turn Your Back on Me, I Don't Want to Be Alone. And there's just something about that that's so like, when you're a kid, it's just you don't have a care in the world, and rightly so. Like you're taken care of, hopefully, and everything's perfect, and there's nothing wrong with you. You're just a kid. Yeah. And then when you get to be an adult, there's something of that kid that never goes away, that wants to belong, and wants to be home, and wants to be accepted, and just to have that kind of sense of like, I don't know, especially with what people went through during that time of tons of rejection, and it's just such a, I don't know, it just really taps into this basic like human need for love and belonging. And it's just, I don't know, when I hear that song, I'm like, blah, I can't handle it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Neil Young, I mean, if you had to grade him, I mean, as a writer, is he like a B-, B+ for the most part?
Well, I mean, based on that one song alone, I would say A+.
Yeah. Okay, so my answer to this, at least the one that comes to mind, help me with the name because you introduced me to this horrible song by Alison Krauss.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
Yeah, and do you remember what is it called?
Jacob's Dream.
Oh my gosh, this song. I mean, the category here is saddest song in existence. I will not listen to that song again. I listened to it one time, and I think I texted you or called you right away, and I'm like, I'm never touching that song again. I don't even want to talk about it. There was some language involved. That song is a problem, dude. And if I remember right, it's the true story of two boys getting lost in the mountains, right?
The Allegheny Children, I think is what it's called. Yeah, so somewhere in like northern Appalachia, two boys try to go find their dad who's out hunting or something, get lost. The whole town's looking for him. Some like a town away, like miles away, some guy named Jacob has this dream. Mm-hmm. He doesn't know what to do with, and like he has the dream like 2 or 3 nights in a row, and then he's like, I have this dream of this spot in this woods that I know where it is, and I should go tell them. And they go tell them, they find him, the boys died there under that tree or something. I think what's interesting is both songs that we're referencing that are so sad, it has something to do with like a child.
Childhood,
you know?
yeah.
But also, side note, I remember telling someone about this song, Jacob's Dream, and I was just like, wow, then this happened, and then this guy had that dream. And he's like, so that guy killed the kids, right? And I was like, he's like, what are the chances that he has this dream? And like, anyway, but
making it even worse.
In today's like murder mystery world where everything's like a documentary, it's
for
like,
sure.
Oh yeah, but
he for sure did it.
I mean, I think the real story is those kids died of like hypothermia from the elements, and it's just a really sad song. And if Jacob had listened to that dream the first night, maybe they would have survived.
I mean, just everything about it is devastating, and I wish it didn't exist, but it does.
All right, so we had one more technical issue, Ryan.
Okay, so with that down, the last thing to do is to basically just have a status report of where we are in our journey from bros to pros. Obviously, we're writing songs. We got a few songs cooking. We're gonna kind of debut one next week, which is really exciting. But beyond just the artistic side of it, what are we working on, John?
Okay, yeah. Well, the goal, I would say, and we can talk about this at another time, but we've approached songwriting, I think, with a really healthy attitude. But the goal, hopefully, is success. We want people to hear our songs, whether that makes us millionaires or just artists that got their arts out to the world. Either one is kind of the goal. So with that being said, our aim right now is kind of anything and everything, but more specific publishers, producers, and artists. So to kind of unwrap that a bit, most artists, something changed in the industry where, I guess it's always kind of been like this, where songwriters wrote and artists performed, but a lot of artists wrote as well. But something is very common now, like it's like the norm now that artists want to be in the right, whether that's a money thing or some sort of ownership in the
like emotional ownership of,
right.
Yeah, I was in the room when this song happened. Yeah.
Right, and I can say, like, I can sing this with confidence and it's my song. Yeah. They have some identity in it. So that's like the ticket, I think, is writing with artists, but that's also like, 1 in a million shot. So you've got to have some clout or the right connection or the right moment. It's kind of lightning in a bottle. And so the aim is more publishers. Publishers, that's the traditional route where publishers and pluggers are pitching your songs. A&R is trying to say, this song should go to this artist. and you're basically on a stipend or a contract where you write, and that's your job. Like you basically get an advance, and then when that song makes money, you pay back your advance. Or there's other ways to do it where there's no advance, and you just write, and then whatever royalties come to you, you keep, and you don't have to pay it back. So that's like one route, and those publishers will work for you. They should work for you to get you into the rooms with artists or other writers that are, cooking. And option two is producers, because producers are a little more accessible to approach because they're, maybe they don't view their job as gatekeeping, so to speak. And we're musical and we used to produce, and that's an easier door to open, I think. And they're in the room with artists. And if if their job is to make sure the record goes well, then they can be like, what's really missing from this record is this kind of song that my buddy John or Ryan does.
Right.
And that's great. Or they're developing an artist that, that whether it's they're working with the management and the label or whatever, they're developing, and they know like this guy needs songs, and we're in the writing phase, and they're involved early. So publishers, producers, and then
the artist.
The artist.
Yeah.
But another route is managers, but that's to me, that's the same as, it's kind of somewhere in the middle of trying to network with publishers and producers, and probably more rare that you'd be like, I met like a manager of, they would probably just direct you anyway to.
Exactly.
I don't know. Yeah. Honestly, I don't know. I'm just guessing, but those are kind of the ways to do it. Another way you can do it is you work with an artist you see a lot of potential in, up and coming.
Yeah. And
you kind of have stake early on. There's risk involved where, once they basically graduate, they move on to big boy college. Yeah. You stay behind. Yeah. But you can also say, like, I did this, and then shop yourself, I guess, to publishers or whomever. But
yeah,
that's kind of the idea. That was a long example. That was a long-winded explanation, but I think it's valuable for listeners. So
yeah, and I'll just respond to all of those really quick. Just kind of with like, we're pulling on all of those threads, and just to be kind of like honest about the journey. It's hard to know like which one of these doors is gonna open, or if there's a door we haven't even thought of yet, because it's tricky to read. Like, we've got a couple relationships with publishers. One of them that's a very warm relationship, and that's awesome. So we keep in touch. We have an ongoing conversation, but it's a little unclear of like, how do we connect the dots here? Like, are you waiting for me to write a hit song, or are you waiting for me to establish all of my own artist connections, and then like you'll kind of bring me on board as like, oh, that's someone who's valuable. He's already like developed his own network.
Right.
So there's a little bit of like a mystery of like, we're just doing what we can and keeping the conversation rolling, but there's always this like moving goalpost of like, what exactly do you need to see in order to take a risk? Or are you trying to not take a risk? You want me to be successful first, right, then you'll sign me, at which point, why do I need you? I'm successful.
Right. And that's kind of what artists have said in the past, like bands and artists, that, the whole dream is to get signed. That's like a magical word somehow. Yeah. Like, I want to get signed. And it's like, anyone can take out a loan, yeah. like getting signed is just like, you have the opportunity to then go distribute your record. But if you're not touring, and if you're not successful, and you're not, your manager and your marketing isn't on it, then you're just going to end up with a lot of debt,
yes.
And
right.
like maybe a fun ride. And so I think it's the same with writers, that maybe they want to see something. I mean, I don't know. It could be like an MLM. It's like, we want to get this guy who has all these guys in this network, and they're just wanting to. It's hard to tell. We don't know. We're very new to this. Sometimes with the sometimes we'll talk to a publisher, and it does feel like, what are you waiting on? Like, we've shown you some really killer songs consistently, over the past several months. And it feels like if this were a dating relationship, I'd be like, you need to let me know where I stand with, give me the
you're not interested in me.
Yeah,
apparently.
give me the DTR, man, because I'm. So, anyway.
Yeah, so that's the publishing game. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know where I was going with that. So, I guess an update on where we've been, what we've been doing is, you said we kind of hit the ground running in July. Because, we, in one of our episodes before, we said we really started messing around with writing and playing around with that, and probably a year ago, or maybe last December. And then it just progressed, and we're like, we need to do this. So I will say one thing, even though we're novices at this and we're going to debut one of our songs next week, we did have a cut, so to speak.
Yes,
yeah.
Right.
And, I can downplay that, but it's a big deal for us. Like, it's a cut. It is a very minor cut, so to speak. So we have a buddy, Andrew Berchthold, who is a great producer, a great writer, and he spearheads this project called The Church Will Sing. And it's like think of it as a compilation project that has volumes. So this was volume 3, and it's kind of lesser known or unknown writers with lesser known, unknown singers, and churches that will do maybe some instrumentation or background vocals. And the artist is The Church Will Sing, featuring so-and-so and so-and-so church.
Yeah. And their claim to fame is Make Room. The song, I will make room for you. So there's a big smash that came out, I think 2020 or something, that was under The Church Will Sing.
Right. That came out, that blew up from The Church Will Sing. And there may be a couple more, I'm not sure. But anyway, Ryan, you had a song that you needed help with. You brought it to me. We finished it. Andrew was a part of that.
Yeah.
And that felt, Andrew's an old friend of yours, longtime life friend. I used to work with him too. So that felt like a really easy in and an easy win. And that's not, those are the kind of relationships we want to have. Those are the kind of things we want to have happen.
Yeah.
That one just already existed and was kind of a easy, So that's one thing, just to get it out of the way, is we've had this one hit.
Yes.
Hit. Wow. I'm speaking it into existence. It's called Hallowed. Great song. Mostly Ryan wrote it. That's why I can say that. It's a great song.
Thank you.
Yeah, so good.
And we got Evie Luce to sing on it, which is this artist she's super young, 19 or 20, but she's got this massive smoky voice. It's crazy. I don't know how Andrew found her, but we did the vocal session remote. She's over in the UK. She's cutting this thing, and we'd tried several singers on it, but as soon as I started hearing her voice, I'm like, holy smokes! Like, she can sell this thing. I think it's the accent, but no, she's got an amazing voice. So
maybe, in a year or so, we'll be able to buy a cheeseburger from this or something.
Right. Half a cheeseburger. We'll see.
I remember years ago, I put a song on iTunes. Yeah, and Spotify. But I think I made $12 total,
It's pretty wild. I don't know if I'd share this with you, but Tom Douglas, who's a big country writer,
right?
He was saying on this podcast, and these are rough numbers, I'm sure, but he was saying, I've written somewhere around 3,000 songs in my life. Something like 300 of those have gotten cut. 30 of those really went on to do something. They were number ones, or they were a big part of some artist's career. And just 3 of them make up, I can't remember how much it was, but something like half of his income or something. And it was this wild thing of just you get this picture of, he's in his 70s, but he's been at it his whole life. Incredible writer, tiny amount of cuts, tiny amount of singles that came out of those cuts, and an even smaller amount of world-changing songs. Yeah,
the Warren brothers, I had the pleasure of meeting them. So I do video production, and I'll end up meeting people, and it's an opportunity to, network kind of, but I can't make it awkward too. So I've met some great writers. The Warren brothers are one of them, and they said the same thing in their interview, that they had they've probably written 3,000 songs. It was the same numbers, 3,000 songs, 300 cuts, 30 made the money.
Yeah.
It was so interesting. And it's almost like you were in sales, so it's almost just a numbers game, which is sad a little bit, a little deterring, I guess.
Well, it makes you really serious about, you have to love the process. If you don't love writing songs, get out, because it just takes too much time of just digging away at this.
Yeah.
Nashville's name, I think, is the 10-year town, for songwriters. That's what that's about.
We should write a song called The 10-Year Town. Nah, I don't think that's good. Never mind.
Ooh,
anyway,
I roll my eyes at.
You know what I think would make me quit faster than not seeing success is just not seeing my baby grow up, having so much, loving a song and just knowing that it could do well, and being frustrated that it just, that would be harder for me than just the idea of oh, I didn't get to make a living doing this.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so the updates, now that we have the context, is we started doing stuff in July. We've built a couple relationships with some publishers. We have a couple young producer friends that are in charge of some up-and-coming projects, which is cool. We don't have any guarantee that they're going to be, huge projects, and then we have some contacts and friends and acquaintances, and it's funny because we, the things that we didn't expect one contact to really do a lot. So we have a friend who's a session drummer. He's like a Nashville staple. He's been here forever doing drums, and he's amazing. And I was like, I kind of want to meet with him, even though he's not an artist, he's not a writer, he's not a producer, but he's really connected, and I want to get his take on what he's seen and what to watch out for. And it wasn't anything like that. I got coffee with him, and it was just great life talk, great advice on just being a person. And he heard some of our songs, and he's like, I need to connect you with this guy who's who's a producer, been here a long time, and kind of started some things going a different direction than most people did, and found success approaching the music industry in a different way. So we actually have a meeting with this guy, and we'll tell you, I guess I don't know if I should name names on here or not.
I don't know.
So we have a meeting on Monday, and that's going to be great. And again, speaking that out there. I'm kidding.
And we have a meeting with Brad Paisley.
Yeah, we're
speaking it into existence.
All of our comments are you guys are just lying. This is so that's coming up. That feels even if it doesn't do anything, I feel we would get some great perspective from that.
Yeah,
that's a guy who has written and produced and kind of took things into his own hands, instead of just saying, I'm going to wait around for someone else to kind of knock on the doors for me. He just was I think what he did was just I'm just going to make my own songs with my own people, and then reach out to artists and basically create their albums for them without all the rigmarole of the business. And he basically just became his own publisher, I think.
Yep.
So that would be amazing advice to hear from him. And then we've met with a few songwriters. So I don't know, about a month ago we met with Kurt Gibbs.
Yeah.
And that was great advice. We met with Sal Oliveri, an amazing producer.
And I should mention with Sal, he's the one who recommended, he was hey, you guys just yes, meet with people, write great songs, but also do something, whether that's maybe you perform a song and you put it out to the world every month or so, something like that, which that didn't quite feel right to us. But that's, for me, that was a big thing that inspired this podcast of, this lets us put our music out in a way that, kind of makes sense for us. Right. So,
and maybe gets attention in a different way that feels, maybe. Because especially he had great advice. He said, most demos are AI now, and he was saying like maybe you should do your own demos, just something to stand out.
Yeah.
And so his advice was just kept stand out,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's in your demos or in your approach and image or whatever it is. But demos are probably more plentiful now than they ever have been with AI. So
Yeah.
how are you gonna stand out in that? So I don't know. Maybe you take the wheel. What am I missing?
No, that feels really good. I mean, we're keeping it fairly general, but my attitude, tell me if you agree with this. My attitude is we're pulling at all these threads: publisher, producer, artists, anyone else who makes sense that maybe we haven't even thought of. So networking, relationships, we know that that's how the game is won and we lean into it. But for me, above that, and I think it's important that it stays above it, is the songs have to be great. And to me, I'm like, eyes laser focused on that while we lean into networking, believing that if the songs are undeniable, the right doors will open.
Yeah. And you can't lock yourself in a
theory.
room and expect someone to come find you.
Correct.
But cart before the horse, right? You gotta have great songs. And I guess I left that out. Like we have a good portfolio. That's what we worked on first. Is we prepared a portfolio. We have a handful of great songs that we put together that we feel are great, and now we're starting the whole networking journey, and we're going to keep writing as often as we schedule that out, and as often as it hits us. So, but here we are. We're at the beginning. We've had a few meetings. We've gotten some advice, but we're basically babies.
Little babies. Well, you are at least.
Right.
Obviously. Yeah, so I think that's the update. If there's nothing else to add on your end.
Right.
So just to hype it one last time before everybody goes, next week we're going to debut our first song to the worldwide interwebs. So please tune in for that. We won't just play it. We'll play it. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about the story, how we put the song together. And we'll just launch into a discussion there. So really, really excited to go that, basically release that to the world. That's what we're doing. And again, don't forget to comment, subscribe, do all the things, share with your friends. And thanks for being on the journey with us.
See y'all.
See ya.